Good afternoon, one and all, and welcome to the video. My name is Saumil Shah. I work as a software engineer. In this video, I would like to teach you about AWS Batch, what AWS Batch functions are, and why we should consider learning about AWS Batch. The entire tutorial I would be doing it with we'll be doing using Docker and Python as our programming language. So what are you waiting for? I'm very excited to teach you about AWS Batch. Let's get started with. So let's get started with AWS Batch. First of all, I would like you to show you a small video on what AWS Batch is, right? So let me play the video and then we'll go into a little bit theory and then into a demo. So let's get started with the video. Give me one sec.
Batch processing can be time-consuming and challenging when you're trying to manage job scheduling and provision the optimal compute capacity to process your jobs. Not to mention costly if you over-provision your compute environment. AWS Batch takes away these difficulties by handling your job's life cycles and compute resource provisioning. All you need to do is specify the basic resource parameters such as GPU, CPU, and memory requirements, and AWS Batch does the rest. AWS Batch with Fargate resources allows you to have a completely serverless architecture for your batch jobs. With Fargate, every job receives the exact amount of CPU and memory that it requests. For additional control and scale, you can also use EC2 or EC2 spot instances, which Batch provisions and manages for you. Whether using EC2 or Fargate, you can significantly lower the cost of your batch processing workflow, allowing for high-priority compute cycles while also economizing on lower priority operations. Whether your workload is a deep learning network, a massively parallel ETL job, or a tightly coupled HPC application, AWS Batch helps you plan, schedule, and execute across the full range of AWS compute services and features. Save time and money by having AWS Batch manage your job life cycles and compute environments today.
That was really nice. That video basically explains what AWS Batch is all about, right? So now I would like to read a couple of definitions, and then after the 2 slides, that's theory a little bit, we would love to go into a demo and actually get our hands a little dirty. So let me read a couple of definitions, okay? So AWS Batch is a fully managed service. Basically, you can do batch processing at any scale. Oops, sorry for that. AWS Batch enables developers, scientists, and engineers to easily and efficiently run hundreds and of thousands of batch computing jobs on AWS. AWS Batch dynamically provision the optimal quantity and the type of compute resources, example, CPU, the memory optimized instances, based on the volume and the specific resource requirement of the batch job submitted. With AWS Batch, there is no need to install and manage batch computing softwares or server clusters that you use to run your batch, allowing you to focus on analyzing results and solving problems. AWS Batch plans, schedules, and executes your batch computing workloads across full range of AWS compute service and features such as AWS Fargate, AWS EC2, and Spot instances. There is no additional charge for AWS Batch. You only pay for the AWS resources, example, the EC2 instances or the Fargate jobs. You create to store and run the batch jobs. It's really a game changer because the reason I'm saying this is because in short, what I'm trying to say, let me switch to my video. What I'm trying to say is, think about in Lambda, right? Lambda had a limitation, right, in terms of packages and in terms of things you could do. But with a Docker container running Lambdas on Docker on ECS, that was a game changer. But that also had certain limitation. Well, the default time is 15 minutes, you can run your job. And the maximum amount of memory is or the resources for the packages can be 10 gigabytes. With AWS Batch, you can, there is no such time limit for you. You can run your batch jobs in parallel, and AWS will scale this on their ecosystem. Now, just want to show you the benefits. So it's fully managed, integrated with AWS, and cost optimized resource provisioning. This is all about AWS Batch. I'm excited to show you a small demo, which is basically I will be going through the AWS Management Console, and we'll be creating a batch jobs. So let's see and learn about. So let's understand the code and get our hands a little bit dirty with AWS Batch and understand job queues, compute environments, and the code. Let's get started, man. The code is pretty simple. I have a simple function here which basically prints up an event and sys.arguments, whatever arguments you pass to the function. It basically prints all the arguments. For example, when I say Python, my function.py, and I pass an argument sawmill. So as you can see, all imports okay, event, it basically prints the arguments and adds a message called hello, I'm from batch function and fired. And basically you have a datetime object. As I said, very easy, nothing complicated. Requirements. We have this library, Docker file. We are running this Python file, right? Now let's push everything on AWS and create our AWS batch resources. I'm on an ECS and go to the repository. Let's click on create repository. Private repository would be great. I would name this as AWS batch Python repo. Whatever name you want, it's just a fancy name. Click on create repository. This should click a repository. Click on the repository, click on the top for the push commands. Copy and validate your Docker client. We need to validate our Docker client. Click on this. This should validate your Docker client, and it says okay. Now let's start rolling. So now I was on Mac. Click on Windows, build the image, and let's tag the image and then push the image to the AWS stuff. So I have built the image. Now I'm tagging the image, and now finally I'm gonna push the image. The pushing the image might take a while. So meanwhile this is happening, what we could do is we could also create the resources on the AWS batch. We could do that, or we could just wait, give it a couple of seconds, and once this is complete, we can head over to the batch. So let's close this and head over to the AWS batch. As you can see, I do not have any resources, neither a job queue, neither a compute environment. I'm going to take up a paint and I'm trying to explain you what everything works. So you have a user, right? Say you pass a JSON data, right? Some data that you need to compute, right? So the way this works is you have a job queue. So the data goes to the queue. No matter how many fast you put the request, it's going to be in the queue. And you have your ECR, a repository which is running, and here you have your script which is running on a Docker container. So this is essentially how things work, right? In layman language. But yeah, let's head over back and see if this is done. So we're almost there. Some final pushing stuff, especially building up the image. Once this is done, we could head over to the dashboard here, AWS batch. Let's click on get started. So click on the compute environment that you want to create. So I'm gonna say Python batch, right? So that's my name. Provide a service role, right? Make sure you have all the. I'm gonna click on the Spot instance right there. Allowed instance type, usually optimal is fine. If you want bigger instances, go for that. For here I would click on the Spot capacity optimized, leave everything to default, click on next. We need to create a queue because that's where your jobs are gonna lie, right? We need to wait here because we need to enter the URI for the image here. So this looks like it's done, and let's click on refresh, copy the URI. So I would dump the URI here and the execution timeout to be 65 seconds. We'll just issue an echo command for now and see how things work out. I want to make sure that I was running the function below, right? Yeah, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, so rest everything could be default. We can click on next, review everything. There you go. Voila, our resources are now being created. Let's wait for a couple of minutes, I would say, because AWS now would run a Terraform script, Terraform or CloudFormation script behind the scenes, and it basically creates a job queue, a compute environment, and stuff like that. So let's refresh, and still I don't see a compute environment right here. Runnable one, so we can see one started, but I don't see the compute, and oh, it's still being created, it seems like. Whatever, we just gotta wait at this point. Oh yeah, there you go. So it's a little slow, but it's fine, I understand. So as you can see, we have one runnable job, and I'll show you how to pass JSON data to your AWS batch, and stuff like that. So let's wait for a couple of more minutes. So hopefully this should be done. Refresh. So I think it's still initializing all the resources at this point, but yeah. So it's not that complicated, you know. Once you understand the concept and what it does behind the scene, things are actually easy. And to be honest, right? Yeah, I mean, you know, so it is what it is. So we still have one runnable. It's still trying to. So this job is in the queue, right? It's in the priority queue. And now once the data would be taken from the queue, it would be rendering on our Docker container. We just pushed the image here, right? So we gave the URI in the definition, and things should work fine. Let's see. Might take a while. Let's check the job queue and see if there is a job. Oh yeah, here they won't show you that. I see. On the dashboard you can see. So yeah, it seems like we still have one. So now let's actually submit a job. You know, meanwhile that's doing, we can submit a job. So click on submit job. Let's give it a test job definition. Let's click the job queue. The execution time maximum 65 seconds. We would like to execute a JSON, and I would like to do this command. So I want to run, I'm saying that, hey, I would like to run a Python command, and with this Python command I would like to add an argument called name, and I would say my data, okay, whatever, you know, just for now. Click on the button submit. So now we have submitted 2 jobs. So it says that the jobs were failed. So one job was failed and one is in progress. So let's just wait for yeah, let's wait for this to complete, and then I can show you the logs actually. So both the jobs failed. So let's see what the errors are. Test job. We could head over to the CloudWatch and see the logs there on what exactly went wrong. So with that you could tweak your setting. Oh, I know why. Guys, this function is not there in the Docker. I never copied this Python function. Oh geez. So what we gotta do is we gotta copy this function as well there. It's a pain, man. So now with that being done, I gotta go to the ECR and then redo the push image. So that's the reason it failed. But by the way, I know why it failed. Python cannot open because the file cannot be found, because it's absolutely clear that particular file is not there. So sorry for that. View push commands, and I'm actually gonna build this Docker image pretty quickly now. So the image is built. Let's tag it and deploy the image. So now again I'm pushing the latest image, and seems like we did push the image. If I refresh now, did it even build? I'm not sure. So just want to make sure. I want to click here. There should be 2 of them. Okay, yeah, perfect. So we would copy the URI for the first one now, because that's the latest one, right? So now in this AWS, right, we already did create that. So we need to edit the compute environment, and I'm not sure if I could do that. Let's see if it allows me to insert an image. I do not think it will allow me to do that, but I think the changes should be taken place, because I just pushed the I just pushed the new Docker file. One thing that I'm not sure is whether it would take that new changes or not. I think that's the one. So I think we need to edit. Oh, we need to deregister it. Yeah, we need to deregister. Let me just make sure. So this starts with 152, and let's see if this also has 152. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have. Oh, it does have 152. Perfect. So it should be fine. So now let's go to the job and try to submit a job. Submit a job. Let's say new job. Select the compute environment. And now I'll show you how it would work. Sorry, my bad. I actually forgot the command. I forgot to copy the function actually to the Docker. That's why he said, oh, I don't know what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? So Let's do. Okay, so submit a job. This job should succeed in theory, because you worked fine. So let's wait for this job to go to the job queue, and hopefully we should see a success message here. So it's still runnable, so you can see 1, right? So it's gonna be executed soon, because if I go to fail, that new job is not there here, so it's not there. I just submitted the job. Okay, so let's go to the dashboard and wait for this job to complete, then and I can show you that, hey, this did work in fact. So yeah, so it might take a while. So I'm just gonna submit one more job meanwhile. So 1212, select the queue, execution 65 seconds. We'll fire up one more function. I will use a JSON, oops, and I would pass a different argument this time. So let's do that, submit a job. So jobs have been submitted, and yeah, it seems like, oh, it's still not there, so it's still pending. So let's wait, guys. Let's wait for a couple. So 2 jobs are there, right? So it's gonna take those jobs. So let's be patient, right? I'm sure it's gonna work. Yeah, sorry, I messed up because I forgot to copy the Python file on the Docker image, and that's the reason it was not there. The message was pretty clear, right? Yeah. So let's refresh, see if he picks up these jobs. It's still in the queue. So yeah, we gotta wait. Let's refresh. Come on, AWS. We still don't have that job, the new job that I just submitted. So I'm still waiting on that. So that's my job definition, whatever. So let's click on the dashboard, refresh. So last updated, it also tells you when it was last updated, right? So I have submitted 2 jobs. So it seems like the jobs are in the queue right now. So I mean, I don't have any other options but to wait. So I just have to wait to make sure that those jobs are taken, and then I can show you the actual output, right? So So now these jobs are starting. As you can see, first it was in the runnable, right? Now they are in the starting position. So let's wait for a couple of more seconds, guys. Shouldn't be taking that long, because all it does is just a print statement, right? So hopefully, all right, guys, here you can see 1 job. So now I can finally show you what I was trying to say. So let's go to the log group, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Yeah, it's pretty easy, man. It's not that complicated at all. I mean, things are easy. So go to the CloudWatch, and here you can see that event, and if you observe carefully, that's your data, right? So the way it goes is basically it goes in the sys.arg. So you could whatever data you want to pass, you can pass it as a string JSON, and then you can serialize it. So you could do, you know what I mean? So there are libraries in Python that you could pass the JSON to the batch function, and then that way in your code you could extract that value, and then you could serialize that back to JSON using json.loads, or dump. If you want to serialize, you can use json.dumps. If you want to deserialize, did I say it opposite? Other way around, whatever. So you got the idea, right? But this is how you work with AWS Batch, right? It's pretty easy. Everything is simple, right? You gotta follow steps. You upload your Docker file with your Python code. You push it on an ECR, and then you submit a job. Job goes to the queue, and from the queue, the job is taken and it runs on a Docker container, and that's what it is. So you could run heavy task, machine learning task, and heavy computation task as well on AWS Batch, right? So hopefully you did enjoy this video, and if you did enjoy, kindly do give a like to this video, and next video would be really very interesting, because I'm going to show you some nice architectures on AWS Batch. For example, how do I do web scraping on demand using AWS Batch? All of that is coming up on the next video using Selenium and all of that. we'll basically use Selenium on a Docker image, deploy on an ECR, submit a batch job that would do a scraping. It's going to be fun, right? So thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you had any more questions, list your question in the comment section and I would be very happy to assist you. Once again, keep smiling, keep coding, and see you guys in the next video.